So we're going to talk about three big stories for today. Today is Sunday, the 19th of November, 2023. So the first big story is we want them cold and hungry. This is in Ukraine. The commander of Ukrainian troops, not Zelensky, but some under commander, said, look, we want them cold and hungry. They're planning to prosecute the war in Ukraine, not slow down during the winter, but actually take the fight to the Russians during the winter. They don't feel like they have a choice, so they're going to keep going. They don't feel like they can afford to let it ride. And there's a reason that they can't afford to let it ride. Right now, it's the worst possible time. The stalemate language, the Time article, all these things, the lack of funding, all these things are militating against Ukraine, and they have to keep going. Okay, so let's go over from Ukraine to Russia. In Russia, snitching, I was just reading an article, is becoming more common. I've done a series of articles now or presentations on YouTube now where I was like going through these articles and going, wow, it's really interesting how much the Russians are re-Sovietizing. Again, it's not in the ideological sense, but in the authoritarian way, they're re-Sovietizing, and snitching is becoming a more common thing. It's becoming like a positive or something that is applauded within Russia. So look for more and more signs that Russia is re-Sovietizing. Okay, article number 3. So we go from Ukraine to Russia to the United States. The coverage of the war in the West, in the United States particularly, has gone down significantly since October 7th, when Israel was attacked by Hamas from Gaza. So the coverage of the war was already low. This is why YouTubers like myself, this is why we got involved in trying to keep the coverage going, because like I remember at a certain point, I was watching like the Johnny Depp trial was displacing coverage of Ukraine. Like how is that happening? But it does. So the news cycle works like that. We all know it. But the news cycle means that right now, Ukraine before October 7th was getting on CNN 8% of its airtime. Right now, Ukraine is getting about 1% of the airtime on CNN, who's really kind of behind Ukraine. They're all for it, but it's only getting 1% of their airtime. So the war in Israel and Gaza is actually doing Putin's bidding by taking our attention away from Ukraine over to what's going on in Palestine and Israel. And so this is really important. And if you watch RT, you will see that most of their articles are about Gaza and Palestine, and that's not unintentional. Okay, so those are the three big stories for today. Thank you for your time and attention, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.